Leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Hope you are all doing great and well. And for this presentation, we will going to discuss all about leading. All about the leadership of an engineer manager in a corporation, because sooner or later you will be one of those engineer manager who will lead the corporate world. Okay, so let's start our discussion regarding leading. So this is actually our chapter 3 of our subject IOM and leading. So when we say leading, before we start on our discussion proper on the definition proper of leading, please guess who these persons are, and if you have guessed who these persons are, you try to generate or formulate some leadership styles on their on their what are their leadership styles. So try to create and formulate their leadership styles on your head now, while I will be showing you the series of pictures. Okay. Okay, so we have here the Pope, this Barack Obama, the Mother Teresa, and lastly we have here the Mahatma Gandhi, who says that be the change you want to see in the world. So the common leadership, the common among all of those person is actually their leadership skills. Okay, they are one of the well-known leaders in the world right now. There's a lot of leaders, great leaders to be followed. Actually, I just pick some of them, and these are my chosen four. So let's start. What is leading? So actually, guys, when we say leading, this actually involves influencing others to engage in the work behaviors necessary to reach organizational goals. So basically, if you are an influencer, somehow you can be called as leader, because you are engaging people to work in your behavior. I hope you get it. Now, to reach organizational goals, of course. To reach the team goals, to reach the departmental goals. So, you can be called as leader if you are influencing others, of course, on a positive way, on a good way. Okay? So, what is the difference between a leader and a boss? Because these are actually two types of management styles. So what is the difference between leader and a boss? I will give you some time to think about it. Okay, so it says here that a leader creates an environment, this should have N, an environment where everyone has an equal shot at advancing their careers. That is a leader, that is a leadership. While a boss demands a win at all cost, attitude that leads to dishonesty and poor teamsmanship. Okay, so that is the first difference between the two. And it says here also that a boss commands while a leader asks. So a leader generally asks some favor from you in a good way, while a boss always commands. They're always commanding something that he or she himself or herself doesn't even really know how to do that specific thing. That's why ang nagiging palusot nila is parang naggagalit-galitan, nagko-command to, you do this, pero sila mismo hindi nila alam. No, ayun yung isa sa katangian ng boss, while the leader is they're asking some favor on their employee or on their subordinate, of course on a positive way. Okay, so that's the second difference of boss and leader. It says here, actually this is a meme coming from Facebook. It says here that a boss commands, as you can see, no, this is the workers and they are putting the business going forward and yung boss nasa taas, while a leader wala siya sa taas, no, hindi siya sa unahan, tapos they are pulling together the business forward. But if you're an engineer, you will use a truck for the business to move forward. Anyway, this is actually some meme in the internet. I just got this on Facebook. Now, based on those differences of leader and a boss that we have stated before, do you think you are a leader, or do you think you are considered a boss? Or sometimes there are persons that is answering this question, sir, I am case to case, depending on the team, depending if I need to have some strict leadership or if I will be having a somehow ay maluwag na leadership, no, depende po sa tao, depende sa member. Sometimes ganoon sila, no? So without any typing or without any commenting on this presentation, isipin nyo, kahit kayo na lang, no, sa sarili ninyo, you try to think, I am a leader or I am a boss. Malalaman nyo yan lalo na kapag you are tasked to lead a specific number of person, no, kapag kayo na ipinag-match, malalaman mo yan kung leader ka ba or a boss ka. Okay? So, I hope nasagot nyo yan sa sarili ninyo along your journey, along your IE journey. And of course, sooner or later, kapag nasa real world na kayo, nasa corporate world na kayo. Now, how leaders influence others? So actually, leaders are said to be able to influence others because of the power they possess. No, we have the power as leader. And that power is actually a great tool to influence others. Now, power refers to the ability of a leader to exert force on another. If nagawa mong pakilusin yan, if nagawa mong patayuin yan, pagawin yan ng specific na bagay, yung taong yan, then you can said to be have a power. May power ka. Kasi sinunod ka niya. There's something in you para sundin ka ng taong yun. Naniniwala siya sa'yo Naniniwala siyang may dapat siyang sundin sa'yo dahil ikaw yun. No, out of nowhere, ikaw yun. That is your brand. Nasusundin ka niya hanggat kaya niya. That is power. No, that is influence. Now, we have actually bases of power, different bases of power. Let's try to discuss what are those bases of power. First basis of power is the legitimate power. When we say legitimate power, this is a person who occupies a higher position, has legitimate power over persons in lower positions within an organization. So for example, you are a fresh graduate. Of course, your boss has legitimate power compared than you. Susundin mo siya, boss mo yun Sa bahay, 'di ba? Yung nanay mo, syempre, meron siyang legitimate power. You will follow the instructions of your nanay dahil mas mataas yung position niya sa'yo. That is legitimate power. No, I hope you get it. That is the in our case, in a school setting, so the professor has legitimate power over the student. Okay, so that's how legitimate power is described. Now, the second basis of power is the reward power. So when we say reward power, this is when a person has the ability to give rewards to anybody who follows orders or request. He is said to have reward power. So rewards may be classified into two forms, material or psychic reward. Before tayo mag-proceed with two forms of rewards. Actually, when we say reward power, pinakamadaling example, no? Anak, bili ka nga sa tindahan ng suka, yung sukli sa'yo na. O, di ba? Kapag ang term ng nanay, bili ka sa tindahan ng suka, yun lang, hindi ka kakilos. Nakakapagod kayo pumunta sa tindahan, lalakad-lakad ka pang init, di ba? Pero pag narinig mo yung term na yung sa'yo na yung sukli, wow! Parang gusto mong umalis agad, kunin mo agad yung pera, tapos bili ka agad, no? Kasi there's something in return. there is a reward na makukuha ka, no, from following the command ng parents mo. So, that is the reward power. Now, for the classification ng two forms, material and psychic reward. Let's see kung ano tong dalawang ito. So, una, material reward refers to the money or other tangible benefits like cars, houses, and lot, no? So, yung kanina example ko, bili ka ng suka, ito yung sukli, no? Sa'yo na yung sukli. That is a material reward. That is a monetary, in the monetary form. So, in the corporate world, there's some material reward like this too. The car incentives, the house and lot, no, if you are really loyal to the company or if you have done something beneficial to the whole organization, that can be called as material reward. Now, the second one is the psychic reward. When we say psychic reward, this is the rewards that consist of recognition, praises. So, example of psychic reward, some simple certificate of appreciation will do. That is actually considered a psychic reward. In our company before, when I was still in the corporate world, our company actually giving some t-shirt with may nakasulat pa dito sa gilid ng shirt, best employee, or sometimes employee of the month, employee of the quarter. So somehow the psychic reward kasi boost your self-confidence, no? Mas tumataas yung self-confidence mo, mas ginaganahan kang magtrabaho kapag napupuri ka, kapag na-appreciate and kapag na-recognize ng upper management yung mga ginagawa mo with regards to your work positively, no? Kapag okay ka, kapag na-recognize sila. So, yung iba, medals, trophies, or minsan naman kapag mga vacation, so ayun, pwede yun as material reward. Kapag yung mga masinsinang usapan with the boss, tapos pinupuri ka niya, uy, ang galing-galing mo, ganyan, thank you, kasi ganyan. Psychic reward yun. Simple, kahit walang tawag dito, kahit walang event, no, kahit walang celebration, kahit dalawa lang kayo mag-usap, sabihin niya lang sa'yo na congratulations, thank you, nagawa mo to, laki ng tulong mo sa atin, ganyan, blah, blah, blah. That can also considered as psychic reward. No, because you have been appreciated by your boss, you have been appreciated and recognized by the upper management. Okay? So that is the difference between these two. Now, the next is we have the next basis of power is that the coercive power. When we say coercive power, this is when a person compels another to comply with orders through threats or punishment. So somehow this is on negative motivation side. He is said to possess coercive power. Punishment may take the form of demotion, dismissal, withholding of promotion, etc. So in corporate world, this is actually imposed by the HR department, of course. The dismissal, the suspensions, withholding of promotion, or in our government, no, coercive power. For example, right now we are under quarantine, so if you break the rule, you can maybe undergo some penalties or punishment by the local government. That is coercive power. Okay, next basis of power is the referent power. So when we say referent power, this is the ability of a leader to cultivate the respect and admiration of his followers in such a way that they wish to be like him. No, so I hope meron kayong mga ganyan na iniidolo nyo siya, no, sa sobrang galing niya sa leadership, sa sobrang influential niya. Gusto nyo na maging katulad niya. No, ito yung mga iniidolo mo na, ay, ang galing niya naman. Sana ako rin. No, ang galing naman nito, taong to, no. Gusto ko, pagdating ng panahon, pareho kami, na maabot ko rin yung ganon. Tapos, ko rin, maging influential din ako, no. Yung mayahanga din sa akin. Yung bang ini-idolize mo na siya. Sa sobrang galing niya, no, na ini-idolize in a way na ni-respect mo siya. Yung tinitangala mo talaga siya. No, that is referent power. So, some of the famous Pinoy or Filipinos who have this referent power are our genuine Filipino heroes. So, ito talaga, iniidolo talaga natin yung mga bayani na ito. No, and of course, if you are into corporate world, if you are into business, so we have this different person. So, I hope you know these two tycoons here, some of the best and the great businessmen across the globe. And sadly, wala na sila. Ayan, so that is referent power. No? Huwag yung kakalimutan, referent power. Now, we have the expert power. So, when we say expert power, this is when experts provide specialized information regarding their specific lines of expertise. So, you are expert of something. You are expert of a specific field. For example, doctor. Diba? You will follow the reseta ng doktor dahil doktor siya eh. Specialized siya doon sa medicine. No, doon kung ano man yung ginamot niya sa yung part dahil yung medicine malawak pa, may mga specialization pa. So, susundin mo siya kung anong sinasabi niya, kung ano yung gamot, no? Dahil expert siya doon, no? He or she has this so-called expert power. So, this influence called expert power is possessed by people with great skills in technology, and not just on technology but on other fields also. In technology, for example, I am an IT, no? So, in programming, for example, you are my client. So, kung ano yung sasabihin mo, ay, gusto ko ganito specification ng website ko, blah, 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 blah. Kapag sinabi ng IT, ma'am, hindi po pwede yan. Pwede yan, pero napakatagal. Abutin tayo ng 2 years. If gusto mo, 1 year, pero babawasan na natin ng konti yung functionality ng coding, something like that. Papaniwalaan mo siya. Siyempre, siya yung IT. No, that is, he or she is expert in that specific field. Okay? So, those are the bases of power. Now, naalam na natin kung ano-ano yung mga bases of power. Let's go now to the proper definition of leadership. What is now the so-called leadership? Wow, leadership. When we say leadership, this is the process of influencing and supporting others to work enthusiastically toward achieving objectives. Again, influencing and supporting others to work enthusiastically toward achieving objectives. So, basically, more on influence ka, support mo sila, i-motivate mo sila para mag-work kayo harmoniously, tapos ma-achieve ninyo yung specific na goal or objective. That is what we call the leadership. Bibihira yung tao na merong likas na leadership skills, no? Bibihira yan. Karamihan nahihiya, natatakot, no? And I hope so hindi kayo ganun, because sooner or later you will showcase in the field your leadership as an industrial engineer. Now, and not just as an IE, as ECE2 or kung ano man yung tinatahak mong course ngayon, no? Now, what are the traits of an effective leader? Paano mo masasabi na you are an effective leader? So, these are the traits of effective leader. First, he or she must have a high level of personal drive. When we say personal drive, ito yung kahit hindi ka utusan, normal sa'yo yung pagiging leader. Now, that is a personal drive. Next, the desire to lead. No, gusto mo talaga yung magli-lead ka. Passionate ka talaga sa gawain na yun. Next, we have the personal integrity. Again, when we say integrity, this is doing the right even if everyone is doing the wrong way. You know, doing the right thing because you know that is the right one thing to do. That is integrity. Next, self-confidence. Self-confidence in a way na hindi ka mayabang. Kaiba kasi yun. Self-confidence, mataas yung kumpiyansa mo sa sarili na kaya mo, naniniwala ka at nagtitiwala ka sa sarili mo na kaya mong gawin yung bagay na yun. That is self-confidence. Now, analytical ability or judgment. Siyempre, hindi lang dapat na kaya mo, gusto mo at passionate ka doon. Dapat you must also have this analytical ability na mapopossess mo, no, bilang leader. So, next, we have the charisma. Oh, wow. When we say charisma, ito yung parang isa sa katangian ng referent power that we have tackled before, na iiduluhin mo siya, no, yung pag tumayo siya dyan, tipong pag tumayo siya sa harap, nagchichismisan kayo, mapapatigil ka, mapapalingon ka sa kanya, and na-enjoy mo na makinig sa taong yon. That is charisma. Makinig, na panoorin siya kung paano niya ginagawa yung mga bagay-bagay. That is charisma. And yung patipong hindi pa siya nagsasalita, no? Facial expression pa lang. Pag ngumiti siya, mapapangiti ka. That's charisma. That is for me, one of the best trait of being an effective leader. Pumasok ka lang dyan, tumayo ka lang dyan sa harap ng maraming tao. If you are a valuable person, tatahimik yan, makikinig yan sa'yo. No, handa yan makinig sa'yo. But, if you are a nonsense person, if you are a non-valuable person, kahit magtatumbling-tumbling ka sa harap, wala silang pakialam sa'yo. No, I hope you get it. Next, creativity. So, creativity, actually, kailangan din ito to become an effective leaders. No, para mag-work kayo harmoniously, dapat you must be a creative person. Marami kang mga ideas na may aambag with the team, no, para sa pag-achieve ng ultimate goal ninyo. Now, flexibility in a way na kaya mong i-solve if ever na you have the problem sa team, no? Flexible enough ka na makipag-usap sa iba't ibang uri ng tao. No, may mga tao kasi na madali lang kausap, yung iba mahirap kausap, no, yung iba magagalitin, yung iba naman mahabang pasensya. You must be flexible enough para sa iba't ibang uri ng tao with the team, no, on your team. Now, with regards to leadership skills, leaders actually need to have some various skills to be effective. And they are the following. First, the technical skills, followed by the human skills, and lastly, we have the conceptual skills. Okay. For the technical skills, these are skills a leader must possess to enable him to understand and make decisions about work processes, activities, and technology. So, more likely, these technical skills is the specialized knowledge needed to perform a job. No, halos ito po yung yung basis of power, kung naalala nyo pa, na basis of power na tong leader na ito is actually the expert power. You are expert technically on specific field. No, anong mga example niyan? In construction firm, we have the civil engineers. They are the expert on that field. In electrical engineering firm, of course, the electrical engineer. So, we have there the EE na expert doon. So, ayun yung technical skills nila. And sa, ayan, yung mga pictures for EE. For manufacturing, ito, no, we IEs are expert in manufacturing industry, and not just IEs, also ayan din yung inakal ng mga manufacturing engineering. Do you know na merong ganun? No, we have BS manufacturing engineering. So, ayan, expert din sila on manufacturing industry. Now, that is the first one, the technical skill. Number 2 is the human skill. So, hindi lang dapat, parang sa previous lecture natin, no? Hindi lang dapat magaling ka technically, dapat alam mo rin i-handle yung mga tao. Sa engineering management na lecture natin, dapat alam mo rin sila i-handle fundamentally. That is what we call the human skill. So, these are skills refer to the ability of a leader to deal with people, makisalamuha sa tao, makipag-usap sa tao, no, paano mo sila mapapasunod, paano mo sila ma-influensyahan in a good way, both inside and outside the organization. Hindi lang naman sa loob yung minamanage mo. Of course, may mga external factors na pwedeng maka-apekto sa management mo with them. Kaya pati outside organization, dapat you know how to deal with people. Okay? So, next. For example, ito. No, may mga tao tayo na what you call this, na yung sinasabi nila napakagulo, pero alam mo dapat kuhanin kung ano yung punto nila. Or rather, baliktad naman, no? Magulo yung iniisip nila, pero alam mo silang turuan kung paano maging tama yung iniisip nila para ma-lead sila sa tuwid na daan. Wow. That is what we call coaching. No, under siya ng human skills. Next, aside sa coaching, communicating. No, dapat you also have your communication skills para maging okay yung usapan. Part ng communication skills is yung negotiation. That marunong ka makapag-negotiate sa tao. And ito, yung moral building, no, motivation. You must motivate them para eager silang magtrabaho, they are passionate with their job, they love to go to work. Mahirap kasi guys, to be honest, no? Mahirap yung babangon ka sa umaga nang napipilitan ka na lang to do your task, to do your job. No, mas masarap bumangon sa umaga kapag gusto mo yung ginagawa mo. That is moral building. No, pinapa-appreciate mo sa kanila kung ano yung purpose ng ginagawa nila. Why should they have passion sa job? No, bakit kailangan? That is moral building. Biniboost mo yung moral nila. Okay. And after nyan, we also have this training and development. Dapat you are one of those focal persons when it comes to training and development. Dapat alam mo silang i-train para madagdagan yung mga skills and knowledge nila in relation to their job. And supportiveness, no? Supportive ka dapat sa kanila. Dapat binubus mo yung simpleng pagtapik ng likod kapag may nagawa silang maganda. Uy, congrats, das tapik likod. Okay na yun. No? Ramdam nila na sinusupport mo sila in that way. Next, we have the conceptual skills. This is the third one. So when we say conceptual skills, these are the skills refer to the ability to think in abstract terms, to see how parts fit together to form the whole. A very basic requirement for effective implementation is a clear and well-expressed presentation of what must be done. So basically, conceptual skills, dito papasok yung creativity mo bilang leader. No, creative in a way na marami kang ideas, no? Guys, parang mas maganda yung ganito. Try kaya natin gawin yung ganito, ganyan, blah, blah, blah. You are conceptualizing things para sa betterment ng achievement ng goal. That is conceptual skills, okay? So, when it comes to behavioral approaches to leadership styles, there are several approaches used in classifying leadership styles. They are as follows. Una, according to the ways leader approach people to motivate them. Secondly, according to the way the leader uses power. And lastly, according to the leader's orientation towards tasks and people. So let's start with the first one. According to the ways leaders approach people to motivate them. Actually, ito yung parang diagram, yung representation niya, visualization. Behavioral approach. Dito tayo sa una sa according to the ways leaders approach people to motivate them. Actually, we have two types here. The positive leadership and the negative leadership. When we say positive, actually, stop wishing, start doing. Leaders approach people to motivate them. When we say positive leadership, this is when the leader's approach emphasizes rewards. Uy, gawin mo yan ha. Pag nagawa mo yan, meron kang premyo sa akin. Wow, that is the positive leadership. Guys, kaya natin to, wag tayo susuko. Kaya maabot natin yung first place kapag nasa competition kayo, no? Maabot natin yung first place or tayo yung magcha-champion. Na you are emphasizing the possible reward na makukuha ninyo. That is positive leadership. Now, negative leadership, parang ano to sir, parang contradicting daw. Leadership is positive, then negative yung unang term, negative leadership. Ano naman ito? So, kabaliktaran ng positive leadership, this is when punishment is emphasized by the leader. O, kapag hindi ka nag-aral mabuti, babagsak ka. That is negative leadership. Sige, maglaro ka lang dyan. Sige, wag mag-ML ka lang dyan maghapon. I'm not saying na hindi okay yan. Just a typical example. Mag-games ka lang dyan maghapon. Babagsak ka na. Ayan, that is negative leadership. Kumbaga parang negative motivation, no? Contradicting, no? Parang negative motivation, something like that. That is negative leadership. Okay? So, next, let's now move on to the according to the way the leader uses power. So, here we have three, which are the autocratic, participative, and the free-rein. So, while ways leaders uses power, first, we have the autocratic. Now, leaders who make decisions themselves without consulting subordinate. Sila lang yung nasusunod. Kung ano yung gusto nila, alam nila tama yun, ito yung papagawa nila, iutos nila sa'yo, kahit pa labag yung idea mo doon. Now, hindi sila magkukonsult sa iba. Kung ano lang yung naisip nila, ayun yung papagawa nila. That is autocratic leaders. Motivation takes form of threats. punishment, and intimidation of all kinds. So, more likely, ito yung mga, you are autocratic, no? Autocratic government, autocratic leaders. Okay, so next, participative leaders. So, participative leaders is when a leader openly invites his subordinates to participate or share in decisions, policy making, and operation methods. Basically, sa school na lang. No, you have a task assigned by your professor. Then your leader gets some of the ideas, no, yung mga ng idea ng kada member, tapos kino-consolidate before mag-form ng final idea for the team. That is a participative leaders. Because kinukuha mo, in-open ka sa suggestion, sa recommendation ng mga members. Okay? So, next we have this free-rein. Ito namang free-rein leaders who set objectives and allow employees or subordinates relative freedom to do whatever it takes to accomplish these objectives. Ito, guys, ang goal natin, matapos tayo within 1 week. Tapos, okay na yon. So, hahayaan mo na sila. Ito yung maluwag na leader. No, napakaluwag na leader. Hayaan mo na sila. Basta alam mo na kaya nila. Naniniwala ka kasi, kaya mo sila niluluwagan. Naniniwala ka na kaya nila. Now, within 1 week, magagawa nila yung bagay na yun. Tapos hayaan mo lang sila. Iba-iba sila ng way gawin, basta ang bottom line, pare-pareho silang magagawa yon. No, free reign. No, you are giving them the relative freedom they want to accomplish the task. Okay? So, lastly, we have the leaders according to their orientation toward task and people, which are the employee orientation and the task orientation. So, leaders' orientation toward task and people. Pinakauna, employee orientation. So, basically, employee orientation is when he considers employees as human beings of intrinsic importance and with individual and personal need to satisfy. So, this employee orientation is when you are having some decision making, mas focus ka sa employee. Kaya pa kaya nila to, no? I-consider mo sila, kaya pa kaya nila gawin to? Ito yung deadline, parang napakabilis naman yata. Why not i-extend ko? No? Sabi nga dito, intrinsic, you are considering the employees as intrinsic importance and with individual and personal need. No, ito yung kumbaga makatao na orientation mo pagdating sa leadership. Okay, that is the employee orientation. The next one is the task orientation. When we say task orientation, this is when a leader is said to be task-oriented if he places stress on production and the technical aspects of the job, and the employees are viewed as the means of getting the work done. Ito naman, wala kang pakialam sa employee. Basta, hindi, gawin nyo to. Ito yung kailangan. Ito yung output na kailangan natin. Ito yung dapat na ma-meet natin na quality. Ito yung time duration within 1 week that matapos. Wala nang kung ano-ano pa, no? Wala nang if and buts, basta matapos ito. You are after the task. No, gusto mong matapos yung task rather than the concerns of people. There's no such thing as best between these two, employee and task. Still, it will be subjective, case-to-case basis. Depende kung sino yung part ng team, and of course, depending on the goal that you need to achieve. Okay? So, this is task orientation. Actually, this is actually the end of my presentation. Before we end this discussion, I will just leave you with this quotation. It says here that true leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. Again, true leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. Alright, so that ends up our discussion regarding leading. I hope you learned something from this video discussion, guys, and keep safe always. See you on our next presentation. Goodbye and enjoy the rest of the day.